this trade war was the wrong trade war for the United States to start to fight to start with. My concern is that the greatest predictability in the world of today is the unpredictability of the United States, and the greatest certainty in the world of today is the uncertainty of the United States and, unfortunately, President Trump.
Hello and welcome to The Forecast. After months of a vicious cycle of mutual retaliation, as Xi Jinping has put it, Donald Trump and the Chinese leader seem to have come to a truce in their first meeting in nearly 6 years. Speaking in South Korea, Xi agreed to stop withholding China's rare earth exports for a year and start buying soybeans from America again, while Donald Trump said that he would reduce tariffs and suspend port fees on Chinese ships. But how long will this amicable relationship last? Will all of this signal a closer tie between the world's two biggest economies? Well, to discuss this, I'm joined now by Victor Gao, Vice President of the Center for China and Globalization in Beijing, and Dr. Yu Jie, Senior Research Fellow on China at Chatham House. Welcome to you both. Let me start with you, Yu Jie. Is the trade war over? Has it been suspended? And who's won, if anyone?
Well, the truth is, it's not over yet. What we have right now is a temporary ceasefire between the world's two largest economies. Really, if you're judging from the details the two sides has been offered for now, I think we'll come to the stage that both ends and realize how difficult it is and how dependent each other is towards the economy, and has this a necessary ceasefire for the moment. However, I think really judging from the words, very cautious words from the Chinese state media, here is to say the protracted competition with the United States, difficult relationship between Beijing and Washington is really here to stay. So I think what we have today is both leaders realize politically it's important to have this temporary ceasefire.
Victor, Donald Trump, after the meeting, said on Air Force One that the meeting had been amazing. Was it amazing for Xi Jinping?
No. Definitely not. This trade war was the wrong trade war for the United States to start to fight to start with. China is on the receiving side, and whatever China is doing is in retaliation against the wrongful acts by the United States. And now the United States have felt the heat from the Chinese side, has blinked again and again. I think the United States realized that it is futile for the United States to try to achieve a chokehold against China, because China has enough wherewithal to fight back. This is the reason why the two sides have decided to back off from each other, at least temporarily. And I think going forward, the litmus test is whether the United States really honors whatever it has agreed in the summit meeting in the Republic of Korea, and that will decide whether China will again retaliate against whatever the United States may want to change from what they agreed in South Korea.
But as Julia said, they need each other. And hasn't, really the saga, the up and down, the trade war of the last 9 months since Trump took office again, shown us, Victor, that actually they do rely on each other. China needs America's markets. America needs China's rare earth metals, just, to mention two items.
Absolutely. China and the United States can do each other better if they really respect each other and deal with each other as equal. If the United States wants to bully China and try to suffocate China, first of all, it will not succeed. Secondly, it will really suffer the retaliation from China. China has never initiated this round of trade war or tariff war. It is always the United States which wants to fight against China. And I hope by now Washington has fully realized it is futile for the United States to try to suppress China by such wrongful acts of tariff war. And China has demonstrated its consistency in terms of its position and policy of fighting back whenever the United States wants to bully China. And China demands to be treated as a complete equal partner with the United States, rather than anything less than an equal partner.
Yu Jie, do you think that China holds stronger hands in this tussle, or America? Or are they literally both equal, although they want different things, obviously?
Well, I think they're actually both equal, and obviously they want different things. And first and foremost for China, I think what they really want is to increasing its economic strength and also try to enhancing its capability on high-end technology. That is to say, it can withstand geopolitical pressure from the United States and also from the collective West. Now, secondly, I think in here, as I said earlier, politically, both leaders want to have some kind of temporary truce. And for Donald Trump, and he's able to justify to his domestic audience that he has managed his relationship with China, managed tariff issue. Whereas I think really for Beijing, it's really a matter of taking this as a stalling approach, of taking a longer time to buy its time and try to strengthen its own domestic economic resilience. So I think both want this ceasefire, but for very different reasons in here.
Do you think the whole trade war of the last 9-10 months was completely pointless, Jie?
Well, no. I think surely it is really a sense of testing who has the strengths and who blink first. And obviously, Beijing has really taken a playbook provided by the United States, that is to say, using the maximum pressure to your opposition to achieve what I want. And I think that's the playbook Beijing has learned. So it put in a way that I think the United States has inadvertently become the best teacher for China and how to be a superpower.
Victor, what's your response to that?
Well, China does not need an additional teacher. China does not want to be a superpower. China just wants to be treated as an equal and on fair basis.
Hang on a minute, I'm going to interrupt you there. You said China doesn't want to be a superpower. Come on. China wants to be a superpower. China is a superpower.
A superpower, by Chinese definition, is some country very abrasive, very much domineering against others, and never treats other countries as an equal. Now, this trade war or the tariff war is completely pointless. It shows that the United States cannot win this trade war. And I hope President Trump will tell the American people that it is the American people who will eventually pay the bulk of all the tariffs charged by the United States against all the other countries, including against China. China will never pay a single penny of the tariff charged by the United States against Chinese export to the United States. Therefore, I truly believe this trade war is really much ado about nothing. It demonstrates the United States doesn't care about free trade. It really wants to throw a wedge into free trade for what? For damaging and ruining its own reputation and respectability.
How can you be so sure that China will... Go on, you, Jie. Please, weigh in.
Sorry, if I may add in here. I mean, it's not to disregard or disagree with Dr. Gao in here. I think what we have in here right now is finally a G2 framework and has been admitted by the United States. Really, I'm speaking from the evidence, from the tweet that has been sent to the White House this morning by saying the G2 meeting is about to start. So I think really after this few months of trade war, the United States certainly has treated China as that sense undisputed equal. So I think that's what China wants. And I think that's what Dr. Gao was saying about regarding the respect. I think it's that respect element and what we have as of today.
Victor Gao, you've been quite rude about America and its intentions in the trade war. But Donald Trump has been nothing but polite about your leader, Xi Jinping. He called him a strong leader, a great leader. Why doesn't Xi Jinping return the compliment? Why don't you return the compliment?
I always have the highest respect for the American people and for the ingenuity and the creativity of the United States as a nation. Now, sometimes I'm critical of President Trump and his trade policies. That doesn't mean that Victor Gao has any lack of respect for the American people. Now, for President Trump, while I applaud the fact that he used the nice words, pleasant words about China for President Xi Jinping, we always need to watch whatever he walks, and we cannot purely depend on whatever he talks. Therefore, this is the time to see whether he talks the talk and walks the walk. And this will be the litmus test. I think, and my concern is that the greatest predictability in the world of today is the unpredictability of the United States. And the greatest certainty in the world of today is the uncertainty of the United States and, unfortunately, President Trump.
There are many things that Americans admire about China. I myself was traveling through China for quite a long time in 1981, when it was a very, very different country. Now, so I've seen the extraordinary transformation of China it's mind-blowing, literally. It's extraordinary. I wonder what you, Victor Gao, admire about America.
Well, I have the highest admiration you can think about for the American people, for their creativity, resourcefulness, as well as for their great natural endowment and very unmatched geopolitical positions in the northern part of the United States. And I think whatever China is doing is trying its best to make the United States love peace more rather than try to resort to war to solve any problem between any other with any other country. This is why China never looks down upon the United States, and China always wants to engage with the United States as an equal partner. And we truly believe that if China and the United States can set their sights on the same major issue in the world, there will be nothing in this world which cannot be resolved for our mutual benefit as well as for the benefit of mankind as a whole.
Jujie, I mean, Victor Gao loves to talk about, China and peace and how it's a peace-loving country that wants to spread peace.